Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So this is quite an exciting day. This is going to be the first of a new line of videos that I'm going to be doing because I now have a new car. Obviously you can see the Exige here, but on Saturday I went and picked up a new car which was very much a dream car for me. I never thought I'd ever be able to afford one. But opportunity struck and I decided that I would go for it, and I did. So let's go and have a look at the new car. So here she is. So the new car in question is obviously a McLaren. It's a McLaren 570 GT. I've always wanted a McLaren basically ever since the F1 came out. Something of dreams, but was obviously, financially speaking, never able to afford one. But the opportunity arose in the last few months and I decided to go for it. You only live once, as they say. So in this video I'm going to tell you a little bit about the car and talk about what I plan to do in the future. This will very much be a project car for me, so no different from any of the other cars that I own. I own the car, so I am going to modify it. I've got a few plans already, a bit crazy like that. So here we go. So this is my McLaren 570 GT. It was purchased from McLaren Leeds. It was about the fourth car that I looked at. All of which were 570s. The other three cars that I looked at were 570Ss. All of the cars are pretty nice, to be honest, for different reasons. But George at McLaren Leeds knew I was on the hunt for a car, and because he'd seen my Lotus, because I drove over to Leeds in my Lotus to look at a previous car of his, he had this one come in, and he really thought that I would like it. Pretty much, as you've probably noticed, because the colour scheme is almost identical to my Exige. It's called Pacific Blue. It's a fairly rare colour. You see it more commonly on the GT than the S, and I've only seen a couple around, not in real life, but on the internet. Straight away, when I decided I was going to go for the car, I had some demands, because, as you guys know, I like to change things, I like to be individual. The first thing was that the car originally had diamond cut wheels on it. I don't like diamond cut wheels, and also I didn't like the design as well as the fact that they were silver and black. So I managed to source a set of what I thought were the nicest McLaren wheels going on this model, which are the 10-spoke stealth grey forged alloys, and as part of the deal the guys fitted them for me. They also fitted Michelin Cup 2s, my favourite tyre, instead of the P0s, the Pirelli P0s that the car had on it. And finally, I also sourced some carbon fibre mirror caps. The reason for that is, as you know from my Exige, I've got a lot of carbon fibre on that. I think it goes well with the blue colour. And also this car is pretty loaded, so that was another one of the reasons that made me jump for this car, was the fact that of the spec was just about spot on for me. Both the contrasting yellow calipers, and then inside we have the yellow seat belts. Worked really well as far as I was concerned, but also the car had just about every carbon fibre option on it. So externally we've got the carbon fibre intakes here, carbon fibre door inlays. Around the back we have a carbon fibre bum, carbon fibre rear diffuser, and then round the front we have both a carbon fibre splitter and aero blades. As I've said previously, I'm a bit nervous about having carbon fibre splitters, but it was on the car, so I wasn't going to argue. As part of the pickup, I purchased a personalised number plate, and then I went back to 4-dot number plates for a great company. They supplied the number plates for my Exige, and they do ones that are specifically designed for the McLaren. So I ordered the design specific one for the front of the car, and then on the rear of the car I just went for their minimal plate. They do kind of like a big fancy shaped one with a coloured backing on it for the 570, but I just thought the minimal one in this instance would look a lot nicer. So some of the other features of the car, so the car has the sports exhaust system, which is quite impressively rowdy on cold start. It has fully decked out interior, so if we go inside here, we've got full carbon interior, including the carbon tunnel down the middle and carbon inlays in the doors. It has the premium Bowers & Wilkins stereo system, which actually does sound really quite impressive. And then, as you can see, everything else is decked out in Alcantara. One of my preferred colour schemes, this one. So it's got this stone white grey accents on both the seats and under the dash. And it's got an Alcantara steering wheel. Now, I'm not a big fan of Alcantara steering wheels, I must admit. So one of the things I might be doing in the not too distant future is taking the wheel off, and I'd like really to have these side sections replaced in leather, simply from a durability point of view. The Alcantara is really nice for about the first 10 minutes, but it gets so dirty so quickly. And I'd also like a matching yellow 12 o'clock stripe at the top there. I think that would kind of like finish that off nicely. So not hanging about, I picked the car up on Saturday, and on Saturday night was straight into a road trip. I got invited basically by Imran of Alias 23 fame, who was obviously formerly big in the Lotus community. Once he found out I was getting a McLaren, he has a McLaren 600 LT. He had already pre-planned this road trip, and then when he found out when I was picking my car up, he thought it'd be a good idea if I break it in straight away. So it was straight across to Wales on Saturday night, and then we just had an absolute killer day driving across to Barla Lake on the Sunday. We had 3 McLarens, so mine obviously. We had a McLaren 570S and Imran 600 LT, and then we also had a Porsche GT4, the Cayman that is. And we had some absolutely stunning roads, and it really got me sort of like used to the car. It's a lot more automated than the Lotus, but there are a lot of comparisons you can make between the two. Handling wise is very, very similar. Turbo engine obviously is a lot different from a supercharged engine, and your boost kicks in later, but this car is very quick out the box. So I'm planning on doing a number of videos on this car, as I have with the Exige, and I'm obviously very lucky at the moment that I am, for the time being at least, in possession of both cars. So as no one has done this before, and because McLaren and Lotus are so closely intertwined, with a large part of the design team behind McLaren being the same people that were behind Lotus, I think it would be quite valuable for a lot of people to see how similar the cars are and how they differ in other ways in the videos going forward. So I'm really going to attempt to do that, because I think it will be quite valuable. Under the skin, the chassis setup's very, very similar. The suspension setup, everything. So McLarens for me, are just what Lotus's would be if a Lotus had such a large checkbook to spend on parts. But yeah, so far really happy. But as usual with me, already planning the upgrades. So initial upgrades, I'm already booked in with Litchfield. After some hunting around, there's a couple of respected Mac modders, if you want to call them that, in the country. Decided to go with Litchfield after talking to them. Very laid back guys, very confidence inspiring when you have conversations with them. So not that I think I really need it. There's going to be a power upgrade, and then on top of that we're going to drop the ride height slightly, just basically to sim the ride height of the 600. So it's just a little bit down more on its haunches, maybe about 20 mils. In order to achieve that, we're going to fit the KW adjustable spring kit. Also recommended to me, as you can see from the side, the wheels are quite tucked in. So apparently the other big popular upgrade is wheel spacers. So we're going to have those fitted at the same time. The car's also going to go through a full geo, because having driven it for the weekend, I'm not convinced it's spot on. I know it carries less downforce than the Exige, but just doesn't feel quite as planted. Not that it handles badly, but yeah, it's just a little bit, I don't know, more loose in some ways, I suppose. Don't get me wrong, it does handle amazingly and goes through corners like grease lightning, but I think there could be a little bit of refinement there. On top of that, we're going to eliminate the stock cats, where they're going to be replaced with sports cats, and then that will allow a ECU upgrade in the form of a stage 2. That should see quite a substantial power increase of at least 100 horsepower. Yes, I am crazy. So I think I'm going to leave it there for today, guys. I don't want to go on and on and on. I'm still in the very excited mode at the moment. Going to plan some more videos going forward, follow my journey as we make some modifications to the car. I will be a Mac driver rather than a Mac polisher, so this car is definitely going to get used, and I look forward to updating you all soon on what happens next. See you again soon, guys. Take care.